Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Our top priorities have therefore been, one, that our law enforcement and security agencies ensure the continued safety of all Canadians, and two, that all steps be taken to hold perpetrators of this murder to account. Canada has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government. Last week at the G20, I brought them personally and directly to Prime Minister Modi in no uncertain terms. Any involvement of a foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation of our sovereignty.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Moments ago, the Prime Minister.
As you would expect, we've been working closely and coordinating with our allies on this very serious matter. In the strongest possible terms, I continue to urge the Government of India to cooperate with Canada to get to the bottom of this matter. I know many Canadians, particularly members of the Indo-Canadian community, are feeling angry or perhaps frightened right now. Let us not allow this to change us. Let us remain calm and steadfast in our commitment to our democratic principles and our adherence to the rule of law. This is who we are and what we do as Canadians.
We've been clear we will not tolerate any form of foreign interference. Since this was brought to our attention, we've been guided by three principles. The first one, we will seek the truth. The second one, we will protect Canadians at all times. And thirdly, we will protect Canada's sovereignty. I've conveyed these principles to my Indian counterpart, and I've also told him that we expect India's full collaboration to make sure that we get to the bottom of this. And as of today, and as a consequence, we've expelled a top Indian diplomat from Canada.
Yep. Yep. It's got his name underneath it.
He's a very kind person. Even any here disaster, like a fire, whatever, like in Corona time, he personally helped a lot. Like he used to fund or just to ship the grocery and all stuff to the needed. Even to the students who are coming here, he helped a lot for their to get them living things and all that, food, beverages, and all that stuff.
I think the reaction is mixed. It's something that should have been done a long time ago. The community's been after this issue for about 40 years on Indian foreign interference in this country. We've seen year over year, Canada inching towards this type of declaration. It's very unfortunate that it took the death of Hardeep Singh Nijjar on this property a few hundred feet away to actually bring this about. Like we heard in June from Jody Thomas that India is a foreign actor. We've heard from foreign interference reports in past years that India is, along with China and other nations, interfering in Canada's affairs. I think at the moment we have no idea. Like as in the justice system itself has been kind of, I think, failed in these moments in the past where trade deals and diplomacy and all these types of things come into play. So human rights, if it's actually at the forefront of our agenda, then I would say like the justice system should do its work, its job, find the people that actually did this. If Canada is actually declaring that India is an actual actor in this, I think that's a first step towards acknowledging and a first step towards justice. But until we actually see people behind bars, until we see actually people that were, supplying, money for this hit, carrying this out, I think it's kind of like skepticism right now that as if something's actually going to happen. And that just comes from a long, I think, list of things that have happened in the past where we don't really see that justice, whether it's in India or whether it's here. So there was some level of surprise, but at the same time, I think it had to be acknowledged. I think we're at a point now where with Jody Thomas and others in intelligence service are actually saying that this is a real thing. I think the wave of support that we saw post his death is just a small indication of how big of a stature Hardeep Singh had in the entire Sikh community internationally. This thing, it shook the community across the entire world, including in Punjab. Before us growing up, we always heard stories that as in like this would happen to you if you were in Punjab, that if you spoke out against the government that you could be tortured and killed. And we grew up with those stories our whole life, and then watching it transpire right before us, that somebody that was so eloquent, so like as in kind, so respected within the community internationally was gunned down on a gurdwara, at a place of worship, where we actually gather for all of our social and political and faith-based needs.